Hello everyone and welcome to Easy Electrical. So today we'll be doing the class on circuit theory. Now before going into the details of our class, as you all know that we are basically running an SSC online course, and in that SSC online course we are taking care of all the topics, your technical, non-technical, whatever it is there. We are providing test series, practice sets, and as it is an online class, basically most of the students may not be able to take the class due to some unavoidable reasons for internet unavailability and other network connection issues. So what we have decided is that whatever classes you are doing, the recordings will be done and it will be shared with you over YouTube, and whatever the notes are there, it will be given to you as well. Now coming to today's class, we are basically dealing with the circuit theory part, and in circuit theory, suppose some questions I've taken, just be with me and try to solve the questions. In the circuit shown in the figure, current I is, so here you can see the position of the current I is in this direction, right? So to determine the current in this path, you see what it is actually is stating. Suppose this is the box, this is the block, and this is the block. Here you are basically observing is that this is the current I that we are talking about, right? So whatever current is entering in this path actually flowing through this path, isn't it? So if you just calculate the equivalent resistance and divide it by your 10 divided by the resistance, you will get the answer. Now just do it once again. So 1 and 3 in parallel, so 1 into 3 by 1 plus 3, and in series with this term, that is 2 into 4 by 2 plus 4. So whatever we are getting is 3 by 4 plus, here it is 8 by 6, so it is 4, it is 3. So 3 by 4 plus 4 by 3, that means 12, and in the upper section you get 9 plus 16, right? 3 4 12, 3 3 9 and 16. So in this case we can get 25 by 12. So 25 by 12 is the your resistance, whatever resistance you are getting of the total circuit. So current will be how much it is? Current will be 10 divided by 25 divided by 12. So it will be, if you just cut these two, that is 2, that means 24 divided by 5 it will be getting. So this will be the correct answer. Now coming to the next question. The current through the 80 ohm resistor is, determine the whatever current is going through this terminal. See here, first consider whatever the current is in the total circuit. The total circuit current is basically 80 20 are in parallel. So 20 into 80 divided by 100, and add 4 ohms with that. So whatever we are getting, we are basically getting 20 ohms, right? So 20 ohms is the total resistance. Now whatever current is coming out in this direction, the current that is coming out in this direction is, that is 50 divided by 20, that means 5 by 2 amperes, right? Now this 5 by 2 amperes is getting divided, equally divided in the ratio of whatever current is going in this direction. So current through 80 amperes, suppose I80, that will be how much it is? Total current multiplied by opposite branch resistance divided by summation of the both the branches, that means 100, right? So you can see here 1.1 by 2, that is 0.5 amperes will be the correct answer, right? 0.5 ampere will be the correct answer. You just apply here current division rule. I have just applied current division rule. Total current into opposite branches currents divided by total resistance. Now coming to next question. If each branch of a delta has root 3 z, then each branch of the equivalent y will have. Suppose a delta is connected like this, right? In this way it is connected, right? So if it is having root 3 z, root 3 z, root 3 z, and you are trying to incorporate a delta within this, a star within this, suppose, right? Suppose a star you are trying to make here. So this resistance, suppose this is R1. What is R1? What is R1? R1 is basically your multiplication of both the two. Multiplication of both the two, root 3z into root 3z divided by summation of all the two. That means root 3z plus root 3z plus root 3z. So whatever you are getting here is 3z square upon 3 root 3 z. So you can get it here z by root 3. Z by root 3 will be the correct answer. So Z by root 3, option A will be your correct answer. Now coming to next question. Find the equivalent resistance of the delta network. What is the equivalent resistance of the delta network? You can see here. Uh, here we are trying to calculate the equivalent delta resistance, right? So here this resistance is basically, you can consider this as the summation of both the two. That means 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 into 3 divided by the opposite branch, 7.5. Okay, so equivalent delta means all the items we are basically trying to calculate. So here it is 5 plus 3 plus 15 divided by 7.5, that means 2. So 5 plus 3 plus 2, that gives us 8, 10, 10. So this is 10, right? 10 ohm. So similarly, this resistances you also can calculate. Sum these two things, 5 plus 7.5 plus whatever it is, suppose this is R1, right? This is R1. Suppose this is R1. I have calculated. This is R2. This is R3. Now whatever is R2, R2 is 5 plus 7.5 plus whatever it is, 5 into 7.5 divided by 3, right? 3. So here you can get that 2.5 value. So it is 5 plus 7.5. If we just multiply both the two, that means what the two bar 12.5. 12.5 you can get 5 5 5 2.5 2 10 2.5. So here you can get, here is this 2 is 20, this is 25 ohms you can get. So here it is 25 ohms, 25 ohms. And what is this value? This is value, this value I'll not be doing this thing. Okay, I'm just giving you the result. 7.5 plus 3 plus 7.5 into 3 divided by your 5 ohm resistance. Just write down in the comment box whatever the resistance value is coming up in this solution. Okay, now coming to the next question. If the deflection of the galvanometer is 0, okay, if the deflection of the galvanometer is 0, then determine Rx. What is Rx? We need to determine. See here, they are saying that deflection is 0. That means no current is flowing in this direction. If no current is flowing in this direction, so we can say here the circuit can be written like this. This is a 100 ohms, right? And this whole network is basically what it is. 100 and 100 are connected, will be in series, and then 200 will be there. So an equivalent resistance we can write like this: 200 in parallel with 200 in parallel with another 200, right? 200 in parallel with another 200, and in the below what we are having here is your 100 ohms. Okay, is your 100 ohms, and here it is basically your Rx, right? Rx, this is your 100 ohm, 100 ohm. Now you can basically get here, this is basically your 200 into 200, 100 is to 200 to 200 divided by 200 plus 200, so that is your 400, and you can get here is 200 into 200 divided by 400. Basically R by 2 is the result. Sorry, basically R by 2, this much time you should not take. R by 2 is the result, so 100 will be the result. See here, so here you can observe one thing. As the deflection of the galvanometer is 0, it basically indicates the circuit is at balance. If the circuit is at balance, we know that P by Q equal to R by S. So from this observation we can get here that P, if suppose this is P, if suppose this is Q, if suppose this is R, and if suppose this is S. So all of them are given 100, 100, 100 and 100. So S is nothing but 100 ohms. Okay, very simple. S is nothing but 100 ohms. We can calculate like this. If this is S, we can calculate that like this. Now coming to next question. In a balanced three-phase system, 50 Hz is shown here, right? The circuit shown below, the value of the L is given at whatever it is given at 10 millihenry. The value of the capacitor, for which all the currents will be 0. Okay, so value of the capacitor for which all the currents will be 0 it is. So see here, one thing you must keep in mind. That is, whenever we are connecting this capacitor in this way, just convert these capacitors into their respective delta connection. So if you connect this thing, the respective delta will look something like this, one arm, suppose it will look like this or not. If I just plot here, if I just make a capacitor right here, right, a parallel capacitor like here, hmm? So a capacitor, this inductor and this capacitor will be in parallel combination. Now the statement states that this, due to the value of the capacitance, what happens is this circuit is behaving as a infinite resistance, right? As the current is 0, that means the resistance is infinite. Now what we can do here is, first of all, we need to calculate the values of the delta, these values of the capacitances. So 1 by C equivalent is basically 1 by C plus 1 by C plus C divided by C into C divided by C. So here we can get 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by C. It is coming. So the result will be, how much it is? The result will be, so here it is C into C divided by, oh, there will be this thing, 1 C will be not there. So that will be 3 by C. So C equivalent will be 3 by C, or C equivalent will be C by 3, like this. So here whatever we are getting, that is C equivalent, and this is basically your C equivalent. Now this impedance, if you consider that impedance will be 0, right? On this impedance will be infinite, right or not? So here we have observed one thing, that if we calculate, if we just consider the reactances, so omega L will be the reactance, and here 1 by omega C will be the reactance. So if we just consider this, omega L is parallel with 1 by omega C, so omega L by omega C equivalent, omega L plus 1 by omega C equivalent, right? This equivalent resistance is coming out to be infinite, right? So here we can see this is coming out to be what? Infinite. So if we see here, omega L divided by omega C equivalent, and here it is coming out to be omega square L C equivalent plus 1. Now divided by how much it is? Omega C equivalent. Now if this part has to be your infinite, so the bottom part has to be your 0. If the bottom part is 0, now let me take a different color pen. If the bottom part is 0, that means what you can see here, omega square LC equivalent is plus 1 is 0, right? See, now here we can do one thing, that is omega square LC equivalent is 0. Now here you can one more thing, as I have taken here only your I should have taken your J values as well. So if I say like this, this will be your J omega L, and this will be your minus J omega L, right? Minus J omega L. So if I just put here as well, just magnitude, if I just consider the magnitude, right? Just consider the magnitude here. So C equivalent will be 1 minus 1 divided by your omega square into L. Just consider the magnitude for this case. C equivalent will be 1 divided by, just taking the magnitude, okay, keep the magnitude. This is 2 pi f square, 2 pi 50 whole square, 2 pi 50 whole square into 10 millihenry, right? 10 into 10 to the power minus 3 you are getting. So here the result will be what you can see here, minus, if I just write 10 to the power, minus is not an issue, 10 cube divided by your 4 pi square into 50 square, 4 pi square into 50 square, and another 10 is there, no, another 10 is there. So 10 100 we are getting. So here we are getting 100 we are getting, and here we are getting 4 pi square into 50 square, 50 square. So if you can see here, this is 25, so 25 will be getting here 25, 15 to 50, 25. So 1 by 100 pi, 1 by 100 pi, this 1 by 100 pi is the resistance, is the capacitance value that will make the line currents through it 0. The statement is that in a branch whatever the current is coming, that is 0. Current is coming, that is 0. That means here whatever the Z equivalent is there, that has to be infinite. So J, for Z equivalent to be infinite, the C equivalent whatever we are getting is is 1 by 100 pi, right? Just review whatever I have said from the beginning of the question. Okay, here a lot of data is there, a lot of information I have given. Just replay the question once again, you will get the clear idea. The nodal method of power factor circuit analysis is based on your nodal is basically your KCL and Ohm's law, and whenever we are talking about mesh analysis, that is KVL and Ohm's law. Mesh analysis is basically your KVL and Ohm's law, right? The voltage across AB, whatever the voltage across AB is there, we need to calculate. Now see here, dear, what we can do, that is the consider current in this direction, consider current in this direction, and consider current in this direction. So whatever the incoming currents are there, 1 minus 2, right? 1 minus VA divided by 2, right? 1 minus VA divided by 2 plus 3 ampere is coming, that is equals to VA divided by 2. So voltage across AB is nothing but VA, right? So from this we can calculate one more thing, 1 minus VA by 2 plus 3 equals VA by 2. So 4 equals VA. So 4 volt will be the correct answer. VA is nothing but whatever the potential is there here, VA, and generally this part we are basically considering it as ground. So VAB will be your 4 volts. 4 volts will be the correct answer. Now coming to next question. The voltage E0 is, what is the voltage E0 in this direction? Now to calculate this, you see, we need to calculate the current first. So here you can see the total resistance is 4 ohm. Here also 4 ohm. The equivalent resistance is 2 ohm. So whatever the total resistance we are coming here is 4 ohm, 4, that means 2 plus 4, that is 6. So the current is how much it is? 12 by 6. So that is 2 amperes. So out of 2 amperes, whatever the current is going in this direction, both are same, having resistances. So 1 ampere will be going. So what is the voltage drop? 4 volt is the voltage drop. 4 volt is 1 ampere into 4 ohms, that means 4 volts. Now determine the resistance R. Okay, here the resistance is given. We are stating us to give the resistance. So 100 divided by 8 will give us the equivalent resistance. Now this equivalent resistance is nothing but R plus 5, R into R plus 5, because 10 we get 5, 10 we get 5. So here in this case what we are giving here is 25, 12.5 minus 5, that is 7.5. 7.5 ohms is 8. So this will be the correct answer. So thank you everyone for staying up to this point. If you have any question regarding this class, you can directly give us a message at 8335067725. WhatsApp message you can give us, or you can directly mail us in this mail ID, electricaleasy@gmail.com, if you have any questions regarding whatever the questions we have solved in this paper. Thank you everyone and have a nice day. Thank you.